Okay, can you guys hear me? But you guys are muted as well. Amy, you're not muted anymore. Weichi, you are muted still.
Do you want us to mute
Yeah, I
it
can
or
hear you.
not?
Okay, you can hear me. Great, great, great. Okay, okay, awesome. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and record. I am recording. Okay, awesome. So let's kind of go over what Cloud is real quick. Okay, then we can start looking at the website. So um, do you guys know what Cloud is? First of all,
I know a little bit.
you know a
I
little bit.
think.
Okay, and then Amy,
Yeah, I think I just don't know a little bit.
okay. Okay, so I'll just kind of go over it real quick for us, okay? Um,
That's
just
great.
so just so we know exactly what this guy is. All right. So what Cloud is I think together is a suite of collaboration tools. Okay, and what I mean by that is not only is it a document service where you can centralize, kind of like Google Docs, where you can put all your documents together in one place. But it also has meetings and also has sync rooms. So I'll go over each one of these real quickly. The documents, first of all, on the left-hand side, you're basically grouping them or categorizing them into logical folders here. So if I'm looking at, this particular company, Pure Time Founders Group, this should say Tech Excel, and then you have all these different teams. You may have your marketing team, you may have your support team, all of these. So they all have their own location um, where they can store their documents. Okay, so this one I just happen to be in Cloud Features, and then underneath you can create as many folders as you need to group these documents together. Okay, so here when we look at Cloud New Features inside the space right here, we have all of these documents. There's probably 100 more plus. There's a bunch of things that people are uploading. And the most important thing about this, the innovation about this, is not just document storage. Okay, it's not just a centralized location for documents, but what you can do is you can create what's called syncs, right, and what's called meetings, and you can embed these things into any document, whether it's a PDF, PowerPoint, Word document, etc. You can create what we call syncs. So what are syncs? If I open this document right here, hopefully it opens. Okay, so everybody's viewing my document right here. This is the doc itself. I can navigate, to different pages of it. But more importantly, over on the left-hand side, the controls that I have here allow me to do annotations on them. So right here, I can say, yeah, well, that looks wrong. This looks good, whatever, right? So I can keep doing these annotations on them, and they get all saved. But before I, start doing this, I would actually do what we call a sync. So I would create a new sync right here. I'll give it a name, and I'll say PH sync, right? Something like this. And then I want to record the voice. I could add background music to it if I want to. But essentially what I'm going to do now is you can kind of see my little recording, right? So it's recording my voice right now as I'm speaking, and it's recording my annotations and things like that as I'm going through this document. So what it really does is it helps people understand what you're trying to present better. Okay, so a lot of times what happens is um, if you get like a short PowerPoint slide where people are have really, really um, streamline the text and things like that on the PowerPoint because they want to actually express it through voice, this will be a perfect tool for it. So if you were to give somebody that PowerPoint, they might not even understand it because it's really, short. It's really concise. It's for presentation only. Or similarly, if you have a requirement doc, you have this beautiful design here, but your developers that are actually trying to implement this might be missing some details because it's not fully expressed on the requirement document itself, right? So things that they have to look out for. So we can clearly see this guy's yellow right here, and this is blue, and maybe they don't see that. So we want to actually just call that out, bring that out in the foreground by using these annotations and recording what these mean, right? So you might have it, written somewhere, but you can kind of see in this particular PowerPoint, it basically just shows you the new UI, but it has like no text behind it. It doesn't say, this yellow icon is supposed to mean this, blue icon is supposed to mean that, but that's what we're creating a sync for. You can kind of explain as you're navigating this document. So there's no other tool out there right now where you can do this to documents. So when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and save that, right? And essentially, I created what's called a sync. So that includes everything I just talked about, including all those annotations I'm doing. So I can send this document, so I can pass to you guys this document right here. You can open it up and you can look at that sync, right? Similarly, if I go back into the documents, you will now see a new sync that's associated with it. So these are the numbers of syncs that people have done. So these two were actually created before me. So somebody was trying to explain something on this document, then maybe he did it again, and then now it's my turn. So we're constantly collaborating. So the importance of this is not only to help somebody understand what you're trying to present better. Um, it's also extremely useful for teams like that we have. So if somebody's overseas, there's a language barrier, things like that. It may be much easier to actually, and there's also a time gap, right? So you might not be able to talk to them live right now, but you can certainly create a sync and just pass this over to them so that they can see this whenever you're sleeping, right? So there's a lot of different usages for this. So, one for clarity, two for maybe remote teams, so on and so forth. So this is pretty innovative because I don't think you can do this with any other document tools out there today, right? So I can create syncs, right? So these syncs are actually just you sitting there and just modifying these documents, adding annotations to it. But let's say now I want to do a meeting. I can do it. I can certainly do a meeting on this document, right? So what I can do is click into it and I can say, well, let's start a meeting on this so we can all talk together. So it's not just me now creating my own sync by myself, but now I'm actually getting other people involved and listening in and just collaborating, on this document, right? So that's where I actually do that, create a new meeting because now I want to invite other people. So I can say start meeting and I can invite people, and we can have a discussion over this. So everything that you're doing in here, whether it's a sync or whether it's a meeting and whatnot, it gets recorded on top of this document. Okay, so it's always saved in one spot. So it's not actually, and that's the other advantage, right? So anything that you're collaborating on, anything, whether it's syncs or meetings, whatnot, it's always saved as part of this document. So let's see how this is going to be useful in any way. Okay, so let's go into, for example, let's go into our project one that we use, right? So this is standalone Cloud, by the way. So this is just Cloud itself. Um, but let's say we're to integrate with another product like Project One or maybe Jira or maybe Salesforce, etc., things like that. So what is the benefit that this guy is bringing? Well, it's pretty clear. So inside Project One, I have my projects right here, right? So I have ServiceWise 11. That's a project. And it actually has, the requirements module, it has the development module, etc. So this is where we actually create those requirements. This is where we implement those requirements, right? So now, if you look at, this guy right here, Customer-Wise and Cloud Sync integration, this is something that we want to do within ServiceWise 11, okay? Something we're planning for. We want to actually get this feature out into this release, into this product, rather. But if I click on it, with the integration, I can attach, any document I want, right? But most tools stop right there, right? They basically allow you to attach. Like I don't know any tools where you cannot attach a document, but we take it a little bit further. So we not only allow you to attach a document, but from here we can actually create syncs and we can create meetings right off of this document, right? So that is not a feature that Project One has, but rather it's because of cloud, you get that feature in Project One. It's integrated with our cloud system, right? So cloud standalone, this is how it would look like. Cloud integrated, this is how it would look like. So any tool out there where you can do attachments and let's say you integrated with cloud, you get that functionality where you can create syncs off of these documents. So if I hover over this, I don't know if there's any, but if I hover over this guy, I should be able to see, um, I should be able to view the document, right? I'm able to create syncs by hitting this edit. If there's any existing syncs on here, I can see it, right? So that makes it extremely useful and easy to our developers that are overseas, right? They can actually, without you being in real time with them, you can actually record a sync for them, right? To clarify, what's needed in this document, in this requirement, right? Now, secondly, any kind of meetings that you ever done against this document. So let's say, yeah, well, I do have time. Intern does this all the time, right? He's holding meetings with development to go over the requirement and things like that, right? But the beauty of that is most meeting tools. If I go to Zoom or if I go to GoToMeeting right now, which is what we're doing, right? And I record this, it's only captured on my computer. So what that means is it's going to be later on, maybe like a month later on, I'm probably not even going to remember that we had this discussion, right? That we had this meeting. But
Mm-hmm.
over here, if you do a meeting against this document, at any time when you come back to this document, you can always look back and listen back to that meeting that you had and kind of been like, oh, that's what we wanted to do, right? So that's always captured, on any of these requirements. And that's what Cloud is bringing to the table. So you can kind of see that's where the collaboration happens, right? Like it makes everything a lot easier, either in real time by meetings or maybe off time when you're doing syncs and you're sending that out to people, right? So that's the cloud functionality that you get um, by using cloud, right? So if you're using Project One, it's going to be like any other tool out there where you're just uploading attachments here, right? And people download them. So that's the old way of doing things. Um, you know, like I said, when you look at this document, it's probably not even going to be too clear. So most of our guys probably don't even read all the text that's here. But if you start guiding them with syncs and you tell them, hey, look at this, maybe look at this, maybe look at this, step by step, and you record that as a sync, it's a lot more powerful than, let's just say, them trying to read and understand what you're writing here, right? So that's the collaboration that's happening with cloud. Now, if I come back in here, so this is where all of those documents get uploaded. So if I'm uploading into Project One here, it actually gets stored somewhere, somewhere in here, okay? So all the documents get uploaded. So not only do you have a centralized location for those documents, you have, any kind of sync or any kind of meetings that you ever did against that document is stored. The next thing is the meetings is exactly the same. So it's a centralized location for seeing, a cloud location, and not a cloud with a K, but up in the cloud, um, you're storing all those meetings too, right? So if you don't care about or actually not if you don't care, but if you want to see all the meetings that you've ever done, regardless of what document it is, you would come into the meetings right here, and they would display all of the meetings, right? So here, I have like 3 meetings here, one here. So all of these, there's an issue right here where the meetings aren't being displayed, but all of those would be listed regardless of the document, right? And same thing here, regardless of whatever the task is, this is just a centralized location of the documents, centralized location of the meetings, right? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the sync rooms. So what are sync rooms? Sync rooms are basically channels or discussion rooms, okay? So if I come into a sync room here, I could start adding a bunch of documents into this, and I could have um, chatting capabilities, okay? So why is this important? Well, this is like the core functionality of Slack, okay, where they have something called channels. And what that is it essentially is an ongoing chat. So here you can see my channels, general, random, support team. So I'm actually, in the support channel, and I'm talking to the support team. And you can kind of see this is an ongoing conversation that we ever had with the support team. Okay, so they're talking to each other, they're collaborating with each other, um, and they're able to, I can right now message anybody in the team. I can upload attachments to this if I wanted to, So I'm basically having an ongoing conversation with the team. And similarly, that's exactly what a sync room is. It's a channel, it's a topic where you can have an ongoing chat. So here, this interface is incorrect because it's supposed to have an ongoing chat, kind of like exactly like Slack, actually. And all of your attachments, any cloud documents, any knowledge articles, things like that, you can actually upload into the sync room, right? So now, what is the difference between Cloud Sync sync rooms, or cloud sync rooms rather, versus Slack. The main difference is Slack is for internal usage. So you're not inviting customers into this chat. This is purely an internal collaboration tool, right? For your workforce. Whereas here, this sync room is not only for internal, but I could start inviting other people, like customers, right? So I can have, so how, where could this be used? Well, easily. Let's just say today NVIDIA comes to me and says, hey, I need a requirement. I need you guys to build something out for me. Okay, and we say, all right, no problem. So we created a requirement doc that fits their needs, and we upload it into the sync room. Then what we can do from there is we can start, asking NVIDIA to talk to us through this channel to see, what needs to be improved, right? Get some feedback from them, have an ongoing chat with them, right? Perhaps do a meeting with them, to see, what needs to be changed, or if it's good, they can approve it, things like that. So that's what the difference is, right? So I can invite people. I can invite not only team members but customers into this chat. I'm also able to create meetings directly off of this chat, right? And so everything that I ever do in this channel is saved, kind of like how the syncs and meetings were saved on the documents. Well, any meeting, any document, anything that you ever done in the sync room is always saved as part of the sync room or this channel. So you can always come back and view them. Okay, and that would be under the activities right here. So these are documents I have. Under activity would be all the meetings I ever did inside the sync room. So you can always have that centralized location of communication where you had any kind of meeting, any kind of documents that you were discussing. This view right here, right now, it's looking at the document details itself. But the improvement is, we're going to make this to be chat, right? So we're going to make this ongoing chat, and you can, do exactly this where you have. Let me go ahead and attach a document, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pop in a document, right? I don't know. Let me find something. So I'm gonna put this guy right here, as an attachment right here, right? But this attachment is super boring. There's no meetings that you could ever do. There's no syncs that you could ever do, with this attachment, right? So do you get it? So that's where cloud um, is very innovative, right? There's no other tools that allow you to do this. So this is, this I'm publishing over to our general channel here. Everybody that's in this channel can see this document I associated, right? But it's just that. It's just a document, right? So I click into it, just plain old document, right? There's no syncs, there's no meetings that were ever done. As a matter of fact, in Slack, you can't even create a meeting, right? Because it just has no meeting functionality. However, you could, call somebody like how we're doing right now on Skype or on GoToMeeting. I can call Al right now if I paid for a paid version of Slack, right? I can actually do voice audio or voice communication with him. But once I do that, right, all is lost, right? So if I do a meeting with Al or I call him right here, right, we have no idea, what that conversation was about. And, we would have to actually keep scrolling up to actually find that conversation that we had with him, right? And that becomes lost. Like it's just whatever meeting we did, that's that. It was for that moment and we could never look back for it. So the other, benefits of this is, let's say you have, your company assets, right? Let's say I'm training you right now. I'm recording this, right? I'm recording this, but I need a central location so that, um, to put this guy, in, right? So I may have created a sync room called Kloud Training, and I could put all of my training material here, all my recordings here, any meetings that we ever done, I will store them right here. So we can always go into this cloud, training sync room here, and we could always find that material, right? So one of the primary benefit of that is it's extremely useful if somebody leaves, right? So a lot of times when an employee leaves, you lose a ton, right? With that, all the knowledge that they ever had, you lose, right? Because it's gone with them. But now, if you're storing all of that somewhere, a centralized location, right? You can always refer back to it. It doesn't matter whether or not that employee left. It doesn't matter if a new employee joins. You can always point them here. So Amy, you're always looking for new material, right? but I'm giving you all these
Mm-hmm.
different locations. I'm giving you YouTube. I'm giving you, maybe a document here and there. But had I used the synchron correctly, you could have had a single location where you can find all of that, right? So that's what Cloud is bringing to the table. It's bringing all these collaboration tools um, as part of one package, right? So you not only do you get the documents, and we call that live document because it is sort of live where you're having voice on it, right? Versus a plain old dead, quote unquote dead document, right? So you have all of these functionality that you get with Cloud. And so that's what I'm trying to portray, right? Inside the website, or on the website at least. So we have a combination of Slack right here where we have channels. We have a combination, as part of that combination we have Zoom, right? GoToMeeting, things like that where I can host a meeting, join a meeting, but this has no context to it. So if I host a meeting right now, right, it's just that. Like, where is it saved? Who knows? What did we talk about? I don't know. It's not related to any document. It's not related to anything, right? Similarly, right now when I'm doing this GoToMeeting, right, it's saved on my computer somewhere here, right? And I'm gonna see GoToMeeting on, whatever today's date is, July 7th. But what the heck was it about? Who knows until I, right? So, so all of that information is lost. It makes collaboration a lot harder. You might have to even redo things. I may have to do this training one more time for somebody else, right? It's just not there anymore. Like maybe I couldn't find it. But with cloud, that centralized location, that clarity, it's always there. And that's the innovation that's part of cloud, right? So it's a combination of all these different tools to hopefully make your life a lot easier and to increase your productivity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I am trying to portray on this cloud.com website. So when I come to the home page, I'm trying to express what exactly is cloud. So, I really like the way, this guy, says Slack is where work happens. Yeah, that's great. Right. And then they bring out the main point, channels. That's what they do. They do channels, right? They do, and they share updates and stay in the loop. That's exactly what they do. Like, you don't have to know any more than that. So maybe, I copy them a little bit. I mean, not just a little bit. I just copied them straight out, right? But here, I need to have something that's real catchy, Amy. I need to have something that kind of express what I just did, what I just showed you, but in a very concise way, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
understand each other better, drive project success, blah, blah, blah. But not just with documents and meetings. These documents and these meetings, they're special. So I need to actually say something about that. So maybe I get rid of meetings and I say, with the world's first, document that could do whatever, right? I need to say that in a very concise way, so that it fits with this, right? So that's what I'm trying to get at right here. And that's why I need your help on, Amy. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to write things very concise, and I'm trying to do that because um, over here, I gave Wei Chi something really lengthy, and that's just too much. Nobody's gonna read all that. As a matter of fact, this is why I wrote Wei Chi initially, right? So I come in here
Yeah, yeah.
and I wrote something like, what would I write? Wei Chi, I wrote something crazy long, right?
Uh,
So I
let
wrote
me
like a unique, here, let me find it. Like, let me define it. I wrote unique project solution, blah, 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 right? Something crazy right here. So this is really lengthy. Unique project management tool for general purpose projects or sophisticated, whatever. This is too much. So I concised it, to something like this right here, right? To try to get the main points out. And that's what I kind of need throughout this website, like something that's to the point, kind of explains what cloud does, kind of explains these guys what each of these tools are, right? So this guy is the main point. What is cloud? This guy right here is, what are those tools that make this happen, collaboration happen, right? So we have project one over here. We have cloud docs and meetings, which I just showed you. By the way, this should be cloud docs with the S and meetings with the S, right? Um,
okay.
so right here, so yeah, that's the two products that I'm introducing to you. Maybe cloud should be on the left and project one should be on the right. And then these are the solutions that that may, either use one of these tools or a combination of these tools, right? And so the first one, work from home solution, actually uses a combination of project one and cloud meeting, right? So a project management solution that focuses on productivity, that's the first part. That's project one. Empowers teams to work from anywhere. That's two. That's with the cloud meetings, right? Cloud docs and meetings. So that's one solution. This guy right here is Terran's little thing. I don't even care about that. This right here is live documents and meetings right here. So this is what I just talked about. But right here, you see live documents and meetings. We only have meetings here. We need to have actually the documents that I talked about,
Oh, okay, okay.
right? So
Thank you.
no, it's not on you, Ichi. It's something that I
Okay,
want to
oh, it's
write.
not, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but now that you know what cloud is, you can easily tell like there's a mistake, right? That I put right here
yeah.
somewhere, right? So it's cloud documents and meetings, but we need to write something that's very innovative, right? Because this is a very new solution that's out there that nobody has, because it's really a combination of these guys that make this happen, right? So how do I portray that in one sentence? And Amy, that's where I need a lot of help on. Do you see my point here?
I very much so. It's impressive, and I am very impressed with what you've already done, but the product itself, so I can understand where you're going with all of that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I appreciate that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the remainder of the homepage, right? So, CR cases. Well, this product hasn't even been introduced to the market, so I don't know how in the world I'm going to give you something here, Richie. This is something,
Yeah, I think in the future we need like to trust the customers
of
to show
course,
our cases. Yeah,
of course. This is something I definitely want. This is something
yeah,
that's extremely nice because it gives you, you know, it makes you valid, right? Because you have
yeah, yeah.
customers. But since we don't have customers, I can't just put something like this. This is a placeholder that I could never fill in, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
maybe, I mean, this is great, CR cases, but there's some English problems here, but no problem. That's not even the concern. The concern is I have no, testimonials or anything like that, right? So
Okay.
maybe in its place, because this is a brand new product, in its place, Amy, we should think about, okay, maybe is this enough content for the homepage? Or do we actually want to fill this in with something? Or we replace this section with something else. We be creative and just replace this entirely with something else, right? Or we just keep it simple, introduce our products and our solutions, since we don't have any of this. And news, we certainly don't have that yet. So maybe we change this to about us, right? So about us, what is cloud? Blah, right? What do we do? Where are we located? Something like that, right? Because there's a homepage, give them a little bit of information, right? Since we don't have news. So maybe we do want to replace these sections, but as of now, right here, I cannot populate this data with anything, right? But we can certainly either remove it, like I said, or we can replace it with something that we can do. But I don't know what that might be just yet. And maybe Amy can help me brainstorm that. Like I just don't know what it is. But this certainly we can put in there because it's 25 years of whatever. That's certainly a valid point somewhere, right? Or maybe we showcase, I don't know, something that cloud can do. Maybe I put a video in here that actually demonstrates cloud. I don't know, right? Something, right?
May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
This brainstorming, do you want this offline or do you want this now?
Offline. This is not something I think we can, easily come up with, right? Like
Okay.
immediately. Yeah. I just want you to think about it. We have till the end of the week anyway, right? So tomorrow will be okay. The next is even fine. I mean, just whenever we come, because sometimes I think of this stuff like when I'm outside having a cigarette or something. You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
doesn't come like naturally for me. Like I could be doing something all of a sudden. Oh wait, you know what? I gotta hop on my computer and write this down real quick because I'm gonna forget. So like whenever it comes to you, um, because it's not that easy, right? Slogans, especially slogans, people get mad money for that. Like, to come up with a slogan, but we don't have to come up with anything great. You know what I mean? We don't have to be like, any of those major companies and their slogans, but something that expresses what we do, right? What cloud is. Well, I really like this right here, right? Because I copied it, but maybe we can change the wording. I don't know, right? I don't know, but
When
it
I
really
pulled
is
up,
collaboration.
it
Something.
is. It looks good. Actually, it's amazing, honestly. I
Yeah.
didn't realize all that was going on.
Yeah, so Terran's extremely proud of it, and I'm actually like of all the tools that he's ever built, like I never have any faith in it. Okay, like I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like he is all over the place. He has no like focus. So we always trying to keep him in line. But this time, somehow he developed this tool that actually is not out anywhere in the market. And I believe, in my real opinion here, that it's going to be successful. But I need to, have something to make that successful, right? Let people know what the heck this is, right? So that's what the homepage is about. Introducing our products, our solutions, but we need to brainstorm more things. I just cannot, use this right now. In the future, hopefully when we get customers, I will get you all of this for sure, right? Like Tuckasol has this, but Cloud doesn't have it yet because it's brand new. So having said that, that's the homepage, the feedback I'm trying to give you. So now let's talk a little bit about the technical portions, Wichi. So
Yeah.
what we need to do, okay, by the end of this week is we need to have every one of these pages ready, regardless of the content. So I know you're working on like project one right now, right? But if I come to
Yeah.
cloud work from home, all it needs to look good, okay? So I know you have it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Cloud for education, cloud for meetings. So every one of these pages, I would ignore about us, support, and just focus on these 5 pages. This is one, two, three, four, five, right?
Okay.
And then
Got it.
the
Yeah.
homepage.
Sure.
Nothing else. I don't really care about these guys. These guys are not important
Yeah.
at all, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if we can get these guys done,
Hmm.
and if you need content, just come to me. I will try to provide that, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
yeah, but the content there should be okay already. Um, this guy, let me
Yeah.
tell you guys this guy right here real quick, okay? So Cloud for Education, Taryn is a singer. I don't know if you guys know that. He has like
I
people,
know that.
yeah, people teaching him choir. So he's always about this music thing, right? So this cloud education is really cloud music. Um, and what it's for, let me give you kind of a background right here. Like he's somehow thinks like he's able to like, you know, get into the education sector with cloud. He might be able to, but to me that's too much. You have one product that's collaboration and project management. Then all of a sudden you want to go into the music business. It's a little too much. It might work somewhere else, but over here you don't have the kind of marketing budget for it. So I'm not really too worried about this guy right now. Okay, but what it is, just for your info, is um, he basically, his documents right here are actually music sheets. Okay, so what he wants to do is he opens up this music sheet and then he starts explaining to, let's say he's the tutor. He's the tutor. He's explaining this music sheet like, to his students. So he can say, boom, right here, you're supposed to use this chord. You're supposed to sing a little higher here, maybe extend your voice over here, etc. Right? He has this music sheet that's ongoing, right? So he's recording these things. He's giving, he's doing that on a music sheet. Okay. Now the second thing is when he creates a meeting off of this music sheet, he can actually isolate between his audiences. So what that means is right here, there's the three of us right here, right? So I can actually say, you know what, Amy, you're gonna go ahead and sing for me, and I'm gonna critique you, and then wait, you're gonna do the same. So you guys are actually in your separate meeting channels now, if you will, right? There's no other tool that can do that. GoToMeeting, I can't isolate Amy to go talk to herself, and do her own recording and things like that, which you do the same, I do the same. There's no way for me to do that. So what he's saying is, for online teaching, right, especially nowadays with the situation that we're in, nobody's going to be gathering together, right? You're not going to be able to have 10 students at your house each taking turns playing the freaking piano. That ain't happening, right? But if you guys were each at your own homes and you're using cloud meeting, you can certainly do so. You can go to your own piano, you can record your own thing. We're all in the meeting together still. We're still in this class session, right? So that's what he means by using cloud for education. Because we're able to isolate what does he call it? He calls it group chatting, group meetings. Like if I'm the teacher and let's say we're in a classroom right now, let's think of GoToMeeting as the classroom, right? We're all in here together, right? We're all talking. So I'm actually, maybe talking about um, I'm teaching you guys something about something, right? And both of you guys are hearing me. It's kind of like that traditional sit in the classroom, the teacher's talking, the students are just there listening, right? Then he calls this other thing practice time. So it's actually broken into two. So you have this public session, then you have practice time where I can actually pause my training to you guys, my lesson to you, And then you can actually go practice it, and then we reconvene in like 5 minutes. And then I can hear what each of you guys did because you're recording it. I can hear what each of you guys did, um, and I can actually hop into your own channel, Amy. I can hop into your own channel, Weichi, and I can say, hey, you know what? That sounds great, but you need to improve on this, right? And then Weichi won't be able to hear that at all because I'm in your own private channel while we're all sitting together in this meeting. So that's something that no other meeting tools can do, and that's what he wants to promote. Um, and what he means by cloud education.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't even know if I wrote it, man. This is somewhere here. Yeah, he's adapted lessons, what he calls it. So lesson time is where like a class there, learn together as a group, and then pause that lesson right there into practice. So everybody gets their own private channel, voice channel. They do their own thing. You as a tutor can hop right into each individual channel. Um, Whereas think about this, if I'm the tutor today, I'm a piano teacher, I'm a choir teacher, trainer, whatever tutor, um, and imagine I have like 10 students at my house, right? How do I talk to them concurrently? Well, that's the traditional lesson time. I'm talking to all of you guys together. This is what needs to be done, and this is how you do it. And this is actually now go do it, right? But imagine if there's 10 people, let's say we don't have this online virtual thing. We're all together in a physical location. How can I do this? I can't, right? What, you go to one room, I go to another room? How do you have 10 rooms in your house, right? Impossible. You have one piano, one music, that's going on, right? How are you going to have 10 pianos for each of these guys to practice on their own? You can't, right? So there's no way you can do this with, traditional classrooms. That's what he means by these adapted lessons or whatever. Because now we're breaking this classroom into individual channels, into individual rooms where they could do their own separate thing. And I can actually hop into it and I can actually talk to you privately about it. So that's what cloud education is. And then the last one is cloud documents and meetings. See, I don't feel like this is a solution, cloud documents and meetings, because this actually is the freaking product, cloud documents and meetings, right? So maybe I remove this altogether, right? Because cloud documents and meetings is what we do as a product. It's not really a solution, right? So I think having cloud work from home, cloud for education, I think might be enough because this is essentially going to say the same thing as cloud documents and meetings, right? Originally, we didn't have this product section, so that's why we, have it under solutions, right? But it really is, it's not a solution. It's actually the actual product. By the way, the other thing too is I think we're going to be able to sell cloud documents by itself, and cloud documents and meetings together and cloud meetings itself. I think. I think. I don't know if that's possible yet, but I think in the near future you can grab, one of these pieces, not all of them. So having said that, maybe we get rid of the solution because it's really not a solution, right? It's cloud documents and meetings. So documents are meetings, right? So this is exactly the same thing I was going to write over here anyway. So maybe we get rid of that, right? And only have two solutions for now, something like that. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say. I know that may be a lot.
no, it's amazing.
Great.
No, it was
Yeah, that's
pretty
great.
fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, not a problem. Yeah. So I don't know. So there's some takeaways here, right? So we have. I mean, that's all I need your help on, Amy. Really, just what kind of content am I putting on here? Um, I'm trying all these different things, but maybe I'm not getting that picture across. Because I could easily explain the product. I'm a product development guy, right? But I'm not necessarily a marketer, So how do I, translate all of that into something concise, something that people can understand right away, like Slack did. Like with this one sentence, I already knew what they did, right? So like I don't even have to look at the tool. I already know what you guys are doing. So something like that, right? And then so in whatever case you don't know what a channel is, they explain to you what a channel is right there, right? So it's really straightforward, um, really easy to understand. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Um, yeah.
I'll think on it and follow up by the end of the day.
Okay. Well, take your time, Amy. Take
Throughout
your
the week.
time. it's not an easy thing. Take your time. It takes
Now
me
I'm
longer
amazed
than
what you guys have done.
yeah. So Terry somehow thinks I can come up with content real quickly, but I really can't. I'm telling you guys the truth. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the truth.
I
Yeah,
no, I think I can understand exactly what's going on. That's amazing what you've done already. So, and I know it's not easy.
yeah, I appreciate it. So anyway, Chi, you just don't worry about the content. You just focus on making this guy look better and better.
Yeah, 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 sure, sure. Yeah, I got the fun.
Uh-huh. And then the last thing, Amy, is the email campaign thing right now. So the email campaign thing is the exact same thing. So let me show you this right here. So and this is for you too, Ichi. So
Yeah.
I came up with I came up with um, I came up with something, right? So I came up with a competitive analysis for Jira and Project One, but at the same time, I actually wrote the email right there, right? So maybe I didn't express this correctly. Intern actually said, this guy, you want something real catchy and subject line. I totally agree, right? Because this one's too generic, so I'm gonna cross that out, right? It's too like, too markety, right? But something that makes sense, right? So maybe Amy, if you look at this right here, I'm gonna pass it over to you guys. You can actually help me, maybe if I wrote something wrong or um, something that's not as concise as it should be, something that's not catchy, that's something you can help me with for sure.
And I think you told me who's doing your blasting, your email blasting, but may I ask again? I didn't recall that
Yeah,
information.
the email blast is done by somebody named Catherine Cat, I think is her name. So
Okay, and
Okay.
do you know which service she's using?
she is using, they were just showing me yesterday,
Miller, Miller Lite.
MailerLite, right?
Yeah,
So
Miller Lite.
here,
We use the Miller Lite.
and let me give you access to it too. So where is she? Cloud Summer Intern? Right?
I have that one.
Did she put it in here? I have so many groups here. And by the way, each one of these Skypes right here, you can think of them as a channel too, right? So each one of these groups, right? Yeah. Um, I don't know, man. I have a hard time
You can
finding.
send it to me later. If it may not even.
It's in here somewhere. I just don't know where the heck.
I will copy that to paste that
Yeah,
because I
this
create
is
that
our
one
group right
actually.
here, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, there it is. Mailer lights, and that's the that's the information there. So Amy, you can feel free to go in there and look around because I was going to do the same and look at the features it has. Mainly, I'm looking for, um, you know, people or like what Taryn said, like how many people clicked on this email, how many leads are we actually getting from there, all that tracking stuff. I was going to take a look real quickly, but I'm sure it has it because James told me it has it, and I think Kat told me it has it, so I'm probably not even going to look. Um, but that's the info right there, Mailer Light. Right there.
If I do research, I'll recap it and send it over to you, so you don't have to
Yeah,
double the effort.
that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all, guys. That's all I have for now. And so great work, Richard. So the site is looking better and better. Taryn
Yeah.
wants me to always share with him in real time. Um,
Yeah, 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 sure. I got it.
that's why I'm so pushy with you. But
Yeah, yeah, no worries. No worries. For designer, sometimes I work overnight. So sometimes, the daytime I didn't get, inspiration, but
yeah.
sometimes I have to work, at night. So this is the reason why I told you yesterday. I
Oh,
show you
gotcha.
today. Not so,
Yeah.
this is what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. No, and this is
Yeah.
what he means. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I can see your point.
yeah. So what he means by like, remember how he was critiquing you and saying, hey, don't give me all of this, your thought process behind there. This is what he wants to see, 100%.
Oh, yeah, I
He
see.
just wants to
Yeah,
see this guy being updated, right?
yeah.
And he doesn't worry about it after. Like it's very unlikely he's gonna even read the content. And when he does, he's probably gonna want to change a few things, but it's very unlikely. He just wants us to run with it. So,
Okay.
and that's what I'm showing him at our like five o'clock call to make sure that these guys are constantly being updated. There's progress. By the end of the week,
Yeah.
I should have something. Blah blah blah. So
Okay,
yeah,
got it. Thank you, Prince. Thank
no
you for
problem,
your help.
no problem, no
Yeah.
problem. Okay, so that's all I have for now. I will be in contact. If you guys need anything, let me know.
That
Okay.
sounds great. Thanks for everything.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.